I stared into the eyes of the man who stole my life and whispered, "You thought you could bury me alive in someone else's skin. But today, I bury you in yours." The boardroom gasped as I signed the merger that would ruin him, my pen dripping with the ink of forgotten truths. In that moment, I wasn't a Maya anymore. I was the ghost he created. And America loves a good ghost story, especially when it's written in blood money. It started on a sweltering July afternoon in Chicago, the kind where the humidity clings to your skin like a bad lie. I was Amaya Ruiz, 32, a mid-level accountant at Sterling Dynamics, scraping by in a one-bedroom walk-up in Pilsen with dreams of owning a brownstone someday. My life was predictable: coffee runs, Excel spreadsheets, and Friday nights scrolling Zillow for properties I'd never afford. That changed when I met Victor Hale at a networking mixer in the Loop. He was everything I wasn't: charismatic, connected, the heir to Hale Industries, a conglomerate that owned half the wind farms in the Midwest and whispered deals in D.C. corridors. We fell hard, or so I thought. 6 months in, he proposed with a ring that screamed old money, and I said yes, blind to the shadows in his smile. The betrayal hit like a freight train on I-90 during rush hour. Victor's father, Reginald Hale, the silver-haired patriarch with a grip on Chicago politics tighter than a bear's tailgate lockdown, had been cooking the books. Embezzlement on a scale that could topple City Hall, siphoning funds from green energy grants to fund his offshore vices. Victor knew. Hell, he helped. But when the Fed started sniffing, they needed a fall guy. Me. The outsider bride. The Latina accountant with no family name to shield her. They framed me for the audits I'd signed off on, twisting my diligence into complicity. I woke up in a Cook County holding cell, shackled and screaming for a lawyer who never came. That's when the secret unraveled, or rather, when they unraveled me. Reginald had a side hustle: experimental neural tech, black market brain scans funded by Hale slush funds. Soul transference, he called it in those leaked emails I later unearthed, uploading consciousness, swapping essences like trading stocks. It was meant for the elite, billionaires dodging death by jumping into younger bodies. But desperation breeds innovation. To silence me permanently, they didn't just frame me, they swapped me. The procedure happened in a sterile basement lab under the Hale Tower, while I was drugged from a routine medical check Victor insisted on. I remember the hum of machines, the cold bite of electrodes on my temples, and Victor's voice murmuring, "It's for us, baby. Trust me." Then blackness. I woke up gasping in a body that wasn't mine, frail, wrinkled hands clutching hospital sheets, the scent of Bengali and stale urine assaulting my senses. I was in the shell of Elias Crow, a homeless vet Victor had recruited off the streets with promises of a hot meal. Elias's body, 68, liver spotted, reeking of despair. My mind, my memories, trapped inside like a Ferrari in a junkyard. Panic clawed at me as nurses cooed over Mr. Crow, wheeling me to a psych ward for delusional episodes. I screamed Amaya Ruiz until my throat bled. But who listens to a rambling old man? Days blurred into weeks. I learned to shuffle, to hide the fire in my eyes behind Elias's defeated slump. Victor visited once, disguised as a concerned nephew, dropping off a check for incidentals. His pity made me vomit. "She's gone quiet now," he said to the doctor. The swap worked. They thought me erased, my consciousness diluted in Elias's fading neurons. But rage is a hell of a preservative. I bided my time, piecing together scraps, stolen glances at visitor logs, eavesdropped calls, the glint of a security badge left on a tray. Escape came on a stormy night in October, thunder rattling the ward windows like God's own fury. I'd hoarded meds, faked compliance, built rapport with a night orderly named Jamal who moonlighted as a hacker for kicks. Crazy stories. Man, he'd chuckle, slipping me a burner phone. One coded text to an old colleague, "Help Elias. It's a Maya," and the pieces fell. She pulled strings, got me discharged to a halfway house in Englewood. From there, I clawed back. Elias's pension checks bought a cheap suit. Public library computers let me dig into Hale Industries' dark web underbelly. The truth was a venomous vine. Reginald's tech wasn't just for the rich, it was a weapon. Victor had swapped me to cover not just the embezzlement, but a murder. My murder. Metaphorically. The real kicker? The victim they pinned on me was a whistleblower, a junior exec who'd discovered the fraud. She'd been suicided in her Gold Coast apartment, and my forged signature tied the loose ends. But here's the controversial part. The one that keeps me up at night even now. In Elias's body, I felt free. No more Maya's debts. Her imposter syndrome in white-collar rooms that smelled of privilege. Elias had stories, Vietnam flashbacks, bar fights in Saigon, the bottle that drowned his regrets. His memories bled into mine during blackouts, teaching me survival in ways a Maya never knew. I learned to pick locks with a paperclip, to read a room like a poker tell. And the power? Intoxicating. No one suspects the old black man in the corner, nursing a coffee at the diner across from Hale Tower. I became a shadow, eavesdropping on power lunches, tailing Victor's Porsche through the Magnificent Mile. My first move was small, surgical, an anonymous tip to the Sun-Times, laced with just enough detail to spook the Hales without fingering me. Wind farm funds vanishing into ether, follow the ghosts. The headlines buzzed. Stock dipped 3%. Victor's text to his father, intercepted via Jamal's dark web scrape. It's her. She's out there. Paranoia set in. They doubled security. Hired peace. I laughed, a wheeze from Elias's lungs, as I forged IDs. Elias Crow, freelance consultant. Audition for odd jobs at rival firms. Whispering Hale's secrets over whiskey in dive bars. Winter hit Chicago like a vindictive ex. Snow piling up to my knees, Elias's knees, arthritic and unforgiving. I holed up in a flop house off Halstead, plotting the big play. The betrayal festered, a black hole in my chest. Victor hadn't just stolen my face, he'd erased my future. Our wedding plans, the lake house dreams, the kid we talked about naming after my abuela all ash.
And Reginald?
That cold bastard had greenlit it, justifying it as corporate hygiene. They thought souls were commodities, swappable like quarterly reports. But I was going to make them pay.
Dollar for dollar.
Secret for secret. The decision that crossed the line came in January, under a sky bruised purple. I'd infiltrated a Hale Gala at the Art Institute, Elias as a caterer, tray of canapes hiding a micro-recorder. Overheard Victor bragging to a senator. Dad's tech, next level. Immortality for the 1%. My hand trembled. I spiked his drink with a sedative from Jamal's stash, not enough to kill, just to humiliate. He slumped mid-sentence, foaming like a rabid dog. The scandal hit national news. Hale heirs cocaine collapse, family empire in turmoil. Twitter exploded, Hale hypocrite trending from LA to NYC. They spun it as stress, But I knew better. It was the first crack in their facade. Guilt gnawed at me that night. Elias's ghosts whispering accusations. Was I becoming them? Poisoning drinks? Ruining lives? But then I'd remember the swap, the violation of my very self, and the rage drowned it out. America worships revenge. It's in our movies, our politics, our origin stories. From the revolution to Wall Street crashes, we thrive on the underdog's clawback. I was that underdog, fur matted with injustice, teeth bared. By spring, I was embedded. Posing as Elias Crow, retired engineer with insights, I landed a consulting gig at EcoForge, Hale's biggest competitor. Boardrooms became my battlefield. I fed them intel, falsified EPA reports, bribed inspectors, the neural tech patents buried in Cayman accounts. EcoForge pounced, lawsuits flying like confetti at a Bears Super Bowl parade. Hale stock plummeted 22% in a week. Reginald's face aged a decade on CNBC. Victor cornered me once, in a parking garage off Michigan Avenue. Rain slicking the concrete. You, he hissed, grabbing Elias's collar. What the hell do you know? His breath reeked of bourbon, eyes wild with the fear I'd planted. I met his gaze. Amaya's fire behind Elias's roomy stare. More than you think.
Noah.
He recoiled, pale as Lake Michigan fog. That night, he broke into my flophouse, tearing drawers like a man possessed. Found nothing, my real files hidden in a storage unit in Cicero. But he left a message, a photo of my old body, Amaya's shell, now comatose in a private clinic, sustained by machines. Come home, the note read. End this. Temptation clawed deep. To slip back, reclaim my skin, my curves, my reflection. But it was a trap. Reversal meant erasure. A final wipe of my mind.
No.
The only way home was through them. The climax brewed in June. Heat wave turning the city into a pressure cooker. Reginald called an emergency summit at Hale Tower. Penthouse level. Glass walls overlooking the chaos below. I crashed it as Elias, invited consultant, via a hacked calendar. Security waved me through, pity for the old-timer. The room reeked of cologne and desperation, execs in Armani, sweating bullets. Victor paced, Reginald at the head, gavel in hand. Traitors among us, Reginald barked, voice like gravel under tires. Someone's feeding the wolves. Eyes darted, accusations flew.
You said quiet?
Nursing a water, recorder whirring in my pocket. Then I stood, Elias's cane thumping like a judge's. It's not a traitor. It's justice. Silence crashed down. Victor lunged, but security held him. I pulled the drive from my coat, terabytes of proof, swap logs, murder tapes, embezzlement trails. Amaya Ruiz sends her regards. Gasps rippled, Reginald's face drained to chalk. Impossible, he wheezed.
She's
gone. Not gone. Just relocated. I hit play. My voice. Amaya's. From a pre-recorded confessional, detailing every sin. The room erupted, phones buzzing, lawyers scrambling. Victor screamed, "It's a fake. That hag's dead." But the files were ironclad. Timestamps syncing with blockchain ledgers no one could fake. As feds swarmed the tower, tipped by my anonymous call, Reginald cornered me in the executive washroom.
Door locked.
His pistol trembling. You think you win? You're nothing. A glitch in a bum's brain. His finger whitened on the trigger. Controversial choice number 2. I didn't beg. I laughed. Pull it. Make me a martyr. America eats that shit up. He hesitated. The patriarch's curse. Always calculating optics. Sirens wailed below. He fled, leaving me alive. Handcuffs came for them both that night. Victor, blubbering in the lobby. Cameras flashing like paparazzi at a Kardashian meltdown. Reginald, stoic in the elevator, muttering about appeals. I slipped out a service exit, Elias's body aching but unbroken. But revenge, as they say in those gritty Chicago blues, tastes like ashes. The twist hit months later, in a federal holding cell where I'd negotiated my testimony for reversal tech, clean, legal now that the patents were seized. As surgeons prepped the swap back, a file dropped, DNA logs from the original procedure. Victor hadn't targeted me out of convenience. I was the whistleblower's daughter, adopted, hidden. She'd begged Reginald for mercy before he suicided her. He swapped us to bury the bloodline. Victor? He'd loved me. Or thought he did. But duty to daddy won. The betrayal inverted. I wasn't the innocent bride. I was the avenger born from their first sin. They reversed me that fall. Amaya's body waking to sterile lights and Jamal's grin. Victor got life. No parole. Murder won. Conspiracy. Reginald? Suicide in his cell. Or so the report said.
Wink.
I inherited nothing but scars. But Chicago's skyline looked different from my new brownstone perch, bought with book deals and speaking gigs. Soul Thief, a tale of corporate cannibalism. Bestseller. Naturally. Was it justice or just another swap? Did I destroy them? Or remake myself in their image? Readers argue in Amazon reviews I sip bourbon on my balcony. Elias's ghosts toasting the ambiguity. In America, happy endings come with footnotes, and mine's written in indelible ink. The aftermath was a circus. The kind that makes Ringling Brothers look tame. By November, my face, Amaya's face, was splashed across every feed from Fox to MSNBC. Body-swapped bride torches tycoon empire. Pundits dissected it like a Thanksgiving turkey, feminists hailing me as Me Too 2.0. Conservatives decrying vigilante socialism. I dodged interviews from a safe house in Oak Park, courtesy of the U.S. Marshals, while lawyers battled over the Hale assets. The reversal left me hollowed out, like a pumpkin after Halloween. My body felt foreign. Curves I'd worn now chafing like ill-fitting clothes. Therapy sessions with Dr. Lena, a no-nonsense shrink from Hyde Park, unpacked the layers. PTSD from the swap. Rage from the reveal. You carried their sins, she'd say, scribbling notes. Now carry your own. But sins have a way of multiplying. The twist in the DNA file wasn't the end, it was the fork. Turns out, Reginald's suicide was assisted, a guard on the payroll, a vial of something untraceable. And the guard? Linked to EcoForge. My old allies. Had I been played again? Paranoia bloomed. Elias's street smarts whispering warnings. I hired my own PI. A grizzled ex-cop named Frankie from the South Side, who chain-smoked camels and called bullshit on everyone. Frankie's digs uncovered the rot. EcoForge hadn't just capitalized on Hale's fall, they'd orchestrated it. Their CEO, a slick operator named Harlan Voss, had been Reginald's silent partner in the neural tech. Voss supplied the black market hardware. Hale provided the test subjects. Me? Collateral in a larger game. The whistleblower, my birth mom, Elena Ruiz hadn't just stumbled on embezzlement. She'd hacked the swap prototypes, threatening to expose the whole immortality racket to the Times. Reginald killed her to protect the golden goose, billionaires lining up for body jumps, paying 7 figures a pop. The deeper cut, Victor knew about Elena. Our whirlwind romance? Staged. He'd wooed me to monitor the risk, betting the daughter while plotting her erasure. Those late-night whispers about kids? A smokescreen. When Elena turned up dead, they accelerated the frame job, swapping me out before I connected dots. The DNA confirmed it. I was Elena's, adopted by a distant aunt after her disappearance in the system. Amaya Ruiz, the nobody accountant, was always the target. Rage 2.0 hit harder, laced with grief for a mother I'd never known. I mourned her in dive bars off Division Street, nursing IPAs while Frankie fed me leads. Voss was the new kingpin, cunninger than Reginald, with ties to Silicon Valley VCs and Beltway fixers. Controversial decision 3. Go public?
No.
That'd paint me as unstable. The crazy swap chick. Instead, I went underground again. This time as Amaya, hair dyed ash blonde, contacts turning my brown eyes green.
Lisedan nondescript sedan.
Crashed hacker meetups in Wicker Park, rebuilding my shadow network. By December, snow dusting the bean like powdered sugar on a cannoli. I had a plan. Infiltrate Voss's inner circle. EcoForge's holiday gala at the Willis Tower was the hook, black tie affair for green tech elites, complete with drone light shows and caviar stations. I scored an invite via a forged nonprofit badge, a Maya Hale Foundation, a cheeky nod to the empire I'd torched. Dressed in a slinky black number from a thrift rack in Logan Square, empire waist hiding the surgical scars, the mirror showed a woman weaponized, lips red as a stop sign, eyes sharp as Lake Street switchblades. The tower summit hummed with power, senators schmoozing VCs, influencers snapping selfies with carbon-neutral champagne flutes. Voss held court by the floor-to-ceiling views, a silver fox in bespoke tweed, laughing that practiced guffaw. I sidled up, dropping Elena's name like a grenade. My mother spoke highly of you before the swap. His smile froze, but he recovered smooth. Tragic loss. Let's discuss over drinks. We retreated to a private lounge, jazz piping soft from hidden speakers. There, over Scotch neat. He probed. You're bolder than your file suggested. I leaned in, channeling Elias's grit. Files lie. Like the one saying Elena suicided. His eyes narrowed, predator-sizing prey. The pitch, join EcoForge as ethics consultant, leverage my story for PR spin. Redemption arc, he called it. Bullshit. It was containment. I played along, signing a bogus NDA while palming his phone, biometric hack courtesy of Jamal's latest toy. Downloads that night in my Oak Park bolt hole revealed the abyss. Client lists naming senators, CEOs, even a faded rock star eyeing a teen model shell. And the kicker, Reginald's suicide, Voss's order, tying off loose ends. Victor, rotting in Supermax, had been fed scraps, Voss promising a plea deal if he flipped on me. Betrayal inverted again. My ex wasn't the pawn, he was the bridge. Feeding Voss intel on my moves post-swap. Sleep evaded me. Ghosts of Elena and Elias tag-teaming nightmares. Woke sweating. The city lights mocking through blinds. America's underbelly thrives on this. Tech bros playing God. The rest of us lab rats. I thought of Mom's last email. Unearthed in the files. Run.
Mia.
They're stealing souls. Too late for her. But not for me. January thawed into mud season. And I struck first. Leaked the client list to ProPublica, redacted just enough to shield innocence. Torched the guilty. Soul swap scandal trended. Hearings called on Capitol Hill. Voss's stock cratered. He vanished to a Napa vineyard. Lawyered to the hilt. But I wasn't done. Controversial move 4. Visitation. Drove to Statesville Correctional. Victor's new home. Chain-link fences rattling in the wind off the Dan Ryan. He looked smaller and orange, gaunt cheeks hollowed by regret. Amaya, he breathed through plexiglass, voice cracking. I loved you. Swear to God. Lies. But I let him spin. Voss's coercion. Reginald's iron fist. A son's impossible choice. Part of me softened, the girl who danced with him at our engagement party. Salsa steps under string lights. But then Elena's face flashed, and I slid the photo across, her, young and fierce, holding baby me. You killed her to save your ass. Now watch me kill yours. His breakdown was cathartic, sobs echoing in the sterile booth. I walked out lighter, but the debate raged in my head, mercy or monster.
Dr.
Lena called it moral ambiguity therapy. I called it survival. Spring bloomed with cherry blossoms along the lakefront, but my war turned personal. Voss resurfaced. Not in court but my doorstep, bouquet of lilies. Apology note. Let's end this. For Elena. Trap. Obviously. I lured him to a neutral spot, a shuttered warehouse in Pullman. Industrial ghosts whispering. He arrived cocky, flanked by goons in ill-fitting suits. You're in over your head, girl. The showdown was pure noir, shadows pooling on concrete, distant train horns moaning. I played the card, a live feed to the feds, hidden cams capturing his confession. Elena knew too much. The swaps. Necessary evils. He lunged, I dodged. Elias's reflexes saving my skin. Goons scattered as sirens wailed, my insurance policy. Voss crumpled. Not from bullets but betrayal, his own board. Tipped by my leaks. Voting him out mid-rant. Handcuffed in the glare of squad lights.
He spat.
You'll never be whole. Maybe. But as they hauled him away, Chicago's pulse synced with mine, gritty, unyielding. Summer simmered. Trials dragging like a cub's pen and chase. Victor testified against Voss. Earning time off for good behavior. Ironic.
That.
I watched from the gallery. Amaya's body strong but soul scarred. The twists echo, in closing arguments. Voss's lawyer dropped the bomb. The swap tech? Elena's invention. Stolen from her grad thesis at UChicago. Twisted by Reginald into abomination. I'd avenged her killer, but inherited her curse, the knowledge that burned. Post-verdict. I founded the Ruiz Initiative, oversight for neural tech, lobbying in Springfield with the fire of a woman reborn. Book tours took me coast to coast. Audiences hanging on every word. Was it worth it? They'd ask in Q&As.
Ide pausa.
Sipping water. Elias's wheeze faint in my throat. Depends on the price. Nights alone in the brownstone. I trace the scars, wondering if souls ever fully swap back. Victor writes from prison love letters.
Please.
I burn them, but keep one. You made me see myself. Debatable ending. Justice served. Or just another layer peeled. America debates in podcasts. I live it. One tense breath at a time. Fall foliage turned the suburbs to fire. but my world stayed ash gray. The Ruiz Initiative gained traction, congressional hearings in D.C., where I testified in a power suit, voice steady as the Potomac. This isn't sci-fi, I told the suits. Cameras rolling. It's here.
Now.
Preying on the vulnerable. Applause rippled. Headlines crowed, swap survivor slams tech titans. But victory's afterglow fades fast in the Windy City. Whispers followed me. Death threats scrawled on initiative flyers. Tires slashed outside board meetings. Voss's remnants, loyalists in Napa bunkers, stirring shit from afar. Frankie warned me over pastrami at Manny's Deli. You poked the bear.
Kid.
Bears got claws. He was right. October brought the hack. Initiative servers wiped. My personal docs dropping on 4chan, address. Routines. Even DR. Lena's notes. Trolls swarmed X. A mile-eyes trending with deep fakes of me confessing to fabricating the swap. Controversy peaked when a podcaster, some bro from Austin, grilled me live. You profited off your trauma book. Speaking fees. Isn't this just grift? Mic drop moment. I fired back. Better my grift than their grave robbing. Clips went viral. Splitting America down red-blue lines. Hero or hustler. The real gut punch came via certified mail, a thumb drive from Victor. Smuggled out of Statesville. Footage not of us, but Elena. Grainy camcorder vibes. Her in a cramped lab. 30 years prior. If you're watching, Mija. No, I fought. She detailed the theft, Voss. Then a TA. Lifting her neural mapping code for his startup seed. Reginald bankrolled it. Turning healing tech, PTSD therapy for vets, into soul theft for the elite. Elena's voice cracked. I hid you to protect you. If they come, run. Cut to black. Tears blurred the screen. I'd avenged a ghost without knowing her war cry. Rage evolved. Tempered now, with purpose. No more lone wolf, I assembled a squad. Jamal on cyber. Frankie on streets.
DR.
Lena on sanity. We traced the threats to a shell corp in Delaware, Vostech 2.0. Rebooting the swaps in underground clinics from Miami to Seattle.
Client.
Desperate rich, ailing Hollywood execs. Tech moguls eyeing forever youth. The abomination spread like fentanyl in the heartland. Controversial pivot. Infiltration 2.0. I volunteered as test subject for a decoy op, posing as a terminal cancer patient. Backstory airtight. Landed in a nondescript clinic off the Vegas Strip. Neon buzzing outside like false promises. The doc. A weaselly exhale drone named Patel. Prepped the rig. Helmet humming. IVs snaking. Relax. MS. Hail. He cooed, my cover name a barb. As consciousness faded, I whispered into the hidden mic. Got you. Raid hit dawn. SWAT crashing poker tables turned ORs. Patel folded like cheap origami, drives seized brimmed with horrors, logs of swaps gone wrong. Souls trapped in limbo. Bodies discarded in desert ditches. Voss, extradited from wine country, faced the music, racketeering, manslaughter by the dozen. His trial was spectacle, court TV gold, witnesses crumbling under cross. I took the stand again. Elena's drive projected large. This ends with me. But twists, like bad debts.
Compound.
Mid-trial. Victor's appeal dropped. New evidence. Buried deep. He'd recorded Reginald confessing the murder, not to Voss.
But me.
Wait. No. To baby Amaya. Cooing lies in a crib cam. Your mommy's sleeping now. Little one. Daddy fixed it. The implication? Reginald was my biological father. Elena's affair with the devil himself. Hidden to shield me from the Empire. Victor had known, not fully, until the swap log surfaced. His betrayal? Twisted love. Protecting family from itself. Courtroom erupted. Judge banged gavel like a hangover headache. Voss's lawyer pounced. Incestuous web. Unreliable narrator. Tabloids feasted. Swap scandal. Daddy dearest? I retched in the bathroom.
Dr.
Lena holding my hair. Father? The man who'd erased me twice over? DNA rush job confirmed it. Reginald's silver fox genes in my curls. The revelation inverted everything. Revenge on my own blood. Or liberation from it. Fallout fractured me. Victor's letters turned feverish. We were pawns. Amaya. Marry me inside, proxy vows. I laughed. Bitter as black coffee. Burned a lot. Initiative surged, bills passed. Swaps banned federally. Though black market slither. I keynote at TEDx Chicago. Stage lights hot as judgment. Bodies are ours. Not bargains. Standing ovation. But backstage. Panic attacks clawed. Winter gripped again. Lake frozen solid. Holidays solo in the brownstone. Tree unlit. Elena's photo on the mantel. Ghosts crowded. Her smile. Elias's wheeze. Reginald's sneer. Dreamt of swaps infinite. Me in Voss's shell. Him in a rat's. Woke gasping. Jamal's text glowing. New lead. Voss stashed a vault. The vault hunt became obsession. Frankie and I hit Delaware. Snow squalls blinding the turnpike. Cracked it in a storage unit smelling of mothballs, hard drives, patents. A letter from Elena to Reginald. Our daughter deserves better than your shadows. Unsent. Stained with tears. Inside, the Holy Grail, reversal code.
Pure.
For healing, not hijacking. Elena's true legacy. But accessing it meant choice. Destroy or deploy.
Controversial en gamme, e-chose deploie.
Clandestine clinics popped, free for vets like Elias.
Trauma swaps to peace.
First patient, a Gulf War widow. Eyes lighting as she swapped burdens. Miracles, whispers said. Feds turned blind eye. America loves a redemption remix. Spring 2026. Cherry blossoms defiant. Victor paroled early, model inmate.
Initiative Sponsor.
Met him at a diner off Lake Shore Drive. Booths sticky with history. Forgive, he asked. Hands trembling. I sipped coffee. Elias's ghost approving. Not yet. Maybe never. But I slid him Elena's letter. Closure's cruel gift. Voss rotted in ADX Florence. Appeals denied. His empire? Donated to the initiative. Irony's sharpest blade. I stood on the brownstone balcony. City humming below. Amaya Holish. The debate lingers. Did I right wrongs? Or weave new ones? Podcast bros still rant. Feminists crown me queen. Truth? Gray as Chicago fog. Revenge swapped me too from victim to vigilante. Daughter to destroyer. And in quiet moments, I wonder if souls echo. Does Reginald watch? Proud or pissed? America thrives on the question. And so do I, one swapped heartbeat at a time. Summer scorched back. Humidity a thick shroud over the loop. The initiative ballooned, regional hubs from Detroit to Denver. Elena's code saving shattered minds. Testimonials flooded in. A Brooklyn cop swapping PTSD for calm. A Detroit auto worker shedding grief's weight. I keynote at South by Southwest. Austin's heat mirroring my fire. Tech isn't God. We're the code. Crowds cheered. Venture scouts circled. Offers to monetize.
Commodify. I turned him down flat.
Not for sale. Became my mantra. Tattooed invisible on my wrist. But peace? Elusive as a White Sox pennant. Victor hovered. Paroled and reformed, or so he claimed. Weekly coffees at Intelligentsia. His eyes pleading puppy dog. Build with me. Amaya. The foundation, your legacy. Our second chance. Temptation tugged. His touch still sparked old fires. Salsa nights in my memory. But trust? Shattered like the swap helmet in evidence lockers.
Dr.
Lena probed. Love's not a ledger. But betrayal is. I kept him at arm's length. A ghost in Brooks Brothers. The final twist slithered in August. Heat lightning cracking over the lake. Anonymous drop at the Initiative HQ. A USB labeled Truth Serum. Jamal decrypted it over IPAs at the empty bottle. Punk show thumping below. Files galore. Voss's private journals. Digitized scrawls from his Napa exile. The bomb. The original swap wasn't malice alone. Elena volunteered it. Wait, what? Flash to 93. Elena. Pregnant with me. Cornered by Reginald's threats. Voss's prototype glitchy. Killing hosts. She offered herself as guinea pig, swap her essence temporarily to a surrogate body. Buy time to expose them.
Botched.
Her mind fragmented. Pieces lodging in me, fetal neural links. Sci-fi as hell. The suicide? A cover for her vegetative state, hidden in Hale clinics. My birth? Accelerated. Me carrying echoes of her fight. Mind.
Blown.
I wasn't just daughter. I was vessel. Amaya Ruiz. Hybrid soul. Elena's revenge coded in my veins. The frame job. The swaps, they weren't erasures. But activations. Rage at Victor? Misdirected. He'd loved the echo. Married the ghost.
Reginald's sin.
Paternal hubris. Birthing a weapon. Revelations hit like a Loop L train derailment. Confronted Victor at his halfway house. Rain lashing windows. You knew. He crumbled, confessing. Post-swap glimpses in my eyes. Elena's fire. I thought saving you meant silencing her. Fist to his jaw. Controversial catharsis 5. My knuckles split. His lip bloodied. She lives in me. Asshole. And she's winning. Voss. Hearing from his cell. Requested a meet. Federal pen in Terre Haute. Drive brutal through cornfields. I went. Armored in resolve. He looked diminished. Orange jumpsuit swallowing his frame. Clever girl, he rasped. Chains clinking. Elena's masterpiece. His gloat. He'd anticipated the backlash. Seeded leaks to discredit me. But the journals?
Bait.
To draw me out. Force a final swap, his consciousness into mine. Via smuggled nanorig. Guards busted at mid-monologue. He laughed as they tossed him. You'll carry us all. Back in Chicago.
Purge began.
Destroyed the offensive code. Kept Elena's pure. Initiative pivoted. Ethical AI for mental health. No souls touched. Victor vanished. Relapsed. They said, into the bottle. Found him weeks later. Detox in Elgin. End it, he begged. I didn't. Dropped him at a meeting. Drove away. Mercy. Not absolution. Fall wrapped the city in gold. Leaves crunching underfoot on Michigan Avenue walks. Book 2 dropped. Echo Souls, Memoir Meets Manifesto. Bestseller again. Tours to LA. NYC. Debates with ethicists on NPR. Is hybrid humanity hubris? They asked.
¿Y de keep?
It's American. Remixing the mess. The debatable close. Holiday Eve. Brownstone aglow with lights I finally strung. Elena's photo joined Elias's, a faded Polaroid from Jamal's scans. Toasted them with tequila. Abuela's recipe. To swap survived.
Nota i dibau. Base pils drag.
Threats linger. Victor's shadow fades. But me?
Amaya Puelina.
Fierce fusion. Twist's gift. Inversion complete. Betrayed became betrayer? No. Avenger eternal. Readers spar in forums, heroic or haunted. I stride the mag-mile. Heels clicking like Justice's clock. Chicago whispers back, keep fighting. In this land of second acts, my soul's the star, swapped, scarred, shining. And if ghosts linger, let 'em.
They're family now.